Hey everyone, as you can see I look a lot different. That's because I decided to come completely raw. This video is about something important to me, and I just thought I'd share a little piece of my story with you guys. I'm not sure why I'm feeling so vulnerable, but I felt it necessary because over the past couple of weeks I've been receiving a lot of feedback and a lot of words and a lot of warmth from people, and it's inspired me to share a little something. So if you didn't know, a lot of times for those that consider themselves creative or artistic, writing is a really big outlet. And for me, writing became, I guess we can call it, my saving grace in undergrad. My freshman year I wrote a lot. Sophomore year I wrote a lot, as much as I could, despite a lot that was going on. And then junior and senior year became kind of a blur for me. A lot was going on, a lot had happened. I was kind of busy and didn't really have a lot of time for self, and so I wasn't writing a lot. And I found the less I wrote, the more I didn't acknowledge myself. I didn't acknowledge a lot that was going on within me. I didn't acknowledge a lot of situations or give myself time to really fully assess situations and how I reacted and how I should have reacted, or maybe even decisions that I made. Not saying that I regret any decisions that I made between 2010 and 2012, but I feel like if I was a lot more self-aware, I would have made some better ones. Needless to say, I want to share with you why self-awareness and why self-exploration and why self-discovery is so important, and how they can just transition and kind of, I guess, kind of transcend barriers that you may have built yourself and not even been aware, and how you can indirectly spread and share that warmth and that light after self-discovery to someone else. So yes, are you ready? Here we go. And I'm gonna be a lot of times, okay, here's my trusty moleskin. I read out of I write in this a lot, and this is my first time reading out of it, so that's another thing. Be nice. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my so yeah, basically just talking about how I never really imagined that this last year of my life, especially just passing or just experiencing a birthday, so counting my birthday last year up until now, I don't think I would have imagined things would have panned out the way they have. I've been on a journey of discovery, I want to say, officially since my big chop, and we all know that was July 23rd, 2012. If you read my bio on my channel, it talks a lot about how being or returning natural or being natural for me is not only about hair, hashtag more than hair, but it's a lot about discovery. It's about newness, it's about love, it's about warmth, it's about purity, it's about a vow to taking care of myself. And that begins from head, so from crown to toe. My crown being my hair and everything else in between. So why it's important to be self-aware. Self-awareness comes through self-exploration. A lot of times we feel like those ideas of ourselves that are imposed on us through society and other people, we feel like we have to live up to those expectations. One thing I don't like about that is that those are really not expectations, those are limitations. A lot of times, you know, we decide, okay, I'm gonna go to college, or I'm gonna graduate high school, and then I'm gonna get a job, and then I'm gonna get married, then I'm gonna have kids, and I'm gonna provide for my family, and I'm just gonna live this perfect cookie cutter lifestyle. And that's boring. Nothing's wrong with that. If that's the life you wanted to live, and if that's the path you chose, that's fine. You were self-aware, or maybe you weren't, but if that's the life you chose to live, that's fine. But for me, that's boring. That's something I see as a limitation having to follow this track that society has set for you. Granted, I did go to graduate from high school, clearly. Graduated from undergrad, and I'm now in graduate school. But those things came, especially entering graduate school, that came after a lot of reflection and deciding whether or not that was the path I wanted to take. So yes, I don't want you guys to feel limited. When I say you guys, I'm speaking to a lot of those that are younger than me, because I feel like as I've been growing, I've noticed that generations under me, or just those that are younger than me, are kind of lost. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's like they're not really, no one's really emphasizing to them the importance of following your heart and of exploring who you are and what you like, and to not live up to just expectations or limitations, but to actually, you know, do what it is that you feel in your heart, whatever God places on your heart to do, or whatever higher power that you believe in, whenever it's placed on your heart to do, follow it. And I feel like our younger kids, or those that under me, and I'm probably saying this under a bias because I work with teenagers, but seeing this is just like, I don't know if it's inspired this video partially as well. But yes, back to discovery. Through self-discovery, you just learn so much about yourself, about the God in you, about friendships, relationships. You know, you may lose friends. That's happened to me. You lose friends, relationships that you thought were strong, or that you thought were growing, or that you thought would be beneficial to you, kind of just faded off. And it's okay. Those that were meant to be there will be there. I'm not the type to try to salvage something that is clearly slipping out of my control, but I am the type to work through a friendship or work through a relationship when I know that it has been beneficial and will continue to be beneficial. Granted, you do outgrow some people, and I feel like some people have to realize that it's okay, but with self-discovery, it comes that you realize that some things I thought I had in common with people, I really don't. Or some things that I thought were keeping this friendship alive, or maybe I was doing the most in this relationship or this friendship, or maybe this whole association or whatever we had going on really wasn't what I thought it was, or my role in that isn't really working for me. It's okay. Let it go. You learn a lot about your passions. You learn about a lot about your likes, your dislikes. And speaking on passions, those things that you discover and you explore, and that you find out, hey, I really like this, or hey, like I thrive in this. I live in this. You become more of a warm, a light in certain passions or certain things that you do or explore. To me, that's a passion. To me, that's something that you need to live through, that you need to live, that you need to cling to, that you need to fight for. Do not let anybody or anything come in your way of it. So after all of that, I say that exploration and discovery produce realizations, and through those realizations you start to live in those passions. For me, I guess I would say what I discovered, or what I am living through, is my writing, my amateur photography, and public speaking. I do a little bit of public speaking for, like, you know, my church, and for clearly YouTube, and for different things with school. And I never knew I never knew I really had it in me to do that. Like, I like to talk, but not that much. I mean, contrary to, I'm assuming, what is popular belief, I'm really not a people person. Not for real. Like, I don't like being around a whole bunch of people, but when it comes to speaking in front of people, or having to speak to people, or having to use my voice to relay information that is beneficial or helpful to someone, I find myself really just kind of vibrating in that. Like, when I say vibrating, I mean like my being is kind of not an out-of-body experience, but I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of just something that I can see myself doing for a while, and I see the impact it has on other people, and I may not see it directly, but I feel like I'm making a change, not only in myself, but in those other people. So those are my realizations. But it's important that you live for yourself. You can live and you can be happy for other people. You can, well, not live for other people, but you can be happy for other people. You can want to help other people. You can embrace the fact that other people are affected by what you do. This is true. But living for yourself, in a sense, is doing what makes you happy, yes, but also living in those moments, living in those passions, living through discovery every day. You don't let a hindrance or something negative or a limitation block your living, if that makes sense. When I say living, I don't mean like you're living like, oh, I work and I do this is my living. No, you're living in a sense that you're not letting it block who you are and what you're here for, your purpose. That's what I was looking for. Duh. Your purpose. So in living for you, I definitely said live for every single moment. Lately, in living for myself, and you're gonna hear the pages turn. In living for myself, I make it a mandatory, crucial requirement. Sorry, I had to think of my words. That I take time for myself. I feel like our days can get they can just move at a fast pace. So much can happen within 24 hours that you're like, dang, did I even like take time to think for myself or think of myself? Did I take time to just sit and just like kind of and you don't even have to be like thinking, but you can just take time for yourself to indulge in whatever it is that makes you happy and that takes you outside of work, takes you outside of school, takes you outside of whatever it is that people are demanding from you and are requiring of you. If you got kids, they sleep, that's your me time. If you work a job, when you get off, sometimes your me time can be in the car, even though don't close your eyes while you're driving because rush hour traffic and all that. I need you guys to be alive. I need you to be alive. I need you to be alive. But if you are in school, you know, I understand. Trust me, I understand. Homework can be piled to the high heavens, but take at least an hour to yourself. Because you deserve that. And you deserve at least an hour to yourself out of 24. Come on now. To yourself. To just have some you time. And through that you time, you know, you can find out who you are. You can find out, you know, and just reflect on why you made decisions that you made that day maybe. Or you can reflect on what it is you want to do for the next day. And don't stress yourself out. Be like, oh my God, I gotta do this and I gotta do this and I gotta do this and I gotta do this. No. Just like, I just think reflection and me time is so important. And whether in that me time you want to say a prayer or you want to meditate or you just want to lay face down in the dark and just breathe. Do whatever it takes for you to reflect and kind of just have some self time, self-awareness, self-care. I sound like a social worker. Wow. Okay. Because once you have your you time and you reflect, that's part of your discovery, that's part of your exploration, and that's part of you coming to realizations every day. My discovery, I told you guys my discovery started last summer, I guess officially, and it still has not ended. I learned something new about myself every day, and I'm not saying it's like, oh wow, I could really do this, or I'm really this type of person. It could be like, yo, why did you say that? Like, I could just think on, or why did you decide to go this way instead of this way? Or why did you become frustrated when this happened but not when this happened? It could be one thing, like simple as that, and you learn it about yourself. Isn't that crazy? We seek to learn so much about the outside world and other people and our jobs and school, but do we take time to really learn about ourselves? That's what I'm talking about.